तदं श्वं शौ
రాసినావా కనిపించలే రాయడం
The person who carried out 4 activities in the last year, change in the nature of the strike. This has to be answered very clearly and straightforward. I am giving a sentence, we are mentioning here. Then, if there is any change in the nature of the strike, we say for the current year.
डायरेक्ट इकड़ ब्रांच लोपट बोले
Import controller and cash assistance against export, value of any benefit or purposes arising from the exercise of any profession or business, and so on. So on goes. I highlighted this once because before continuing with this section, I like to say one thing, bring one thing to your kind attention. There is one recent circular number 5 of 2012 dated 1st August 2012. Are offering I request our Central Council members, N. Devaraya Reddy garu and J. Venkateswara garu, to escort the chief guest onto the dais, Sri.K.V. Chowdary garu, IRS, member investigation CBDT New Delhi. To give welcome bouquet to the chief guest. And I request regional council members and committee.
We'll have.
Okay, sir. Wait.
Yeshasukteishu jagrati Yeshasukteishu jagrati Kavam Purusho Nirvinana Tadeva Shukram Brahma Tasmin lokah
respected Sri.K.V. Chowdary, Member Administrations, CBDT New Delhi, Central Council members J. Venkateshwar and Devaraj Reddy garu, Sri Vivek Datta, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax 1, Sri Behra, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax 2, Sri Suresh Janjara, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax 3, Dr. P. Raghu, Director General Administrations, Sri V. Srinivas, Director General Administrations, Sri A.K. Saptati, Commissioner of Income Tax, Central Circuit, and dear professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. On behalf of the Managing Committee of Hyderabad branch, I welcome you all for this today's seminar on direct taxes. It is indeed a great privilege for all of us to host the national seminar on direct taxes. Certainly, we feel honored for the confidence reposed on us by the Direct Taxes Committee of ICA. Friends, Sri.K.V. Chowdary garu is among us. Sir, it is indeed a great honor to us to have you as the chief guest of the day, who can understand the practical, professional issues of our members. I would like to utilize this opportunity by sharing my thoughts on various issues concerning practice of the members. Sir, we look forward for working hand in hand with department and as a partner in national building. With the fast changing commercial patterns and methods, new rules are accordingly brought in. Domestic transfer pricing is one of such areas where professionals have to carve out the case with great care and objectivity. Online complaints are growing with requirements of oneself, keeping always on the alert. The tedious complaints has recently come into prominence with the activeness of the department. We welcome this measure and simultaneously we expect the department to be proactive in other areas where the assessors have grievances. It is well known that the bone of contention and litigation is applicants vis-a-vis development agreements. In such cases, occurs the liability for taxes arises on handing over the position of the property to the developers. Sir, we strongly opine that it is harsh provision to levy tax at the point of time when the transfer has not realized anything to pay tax. Many litigations are due to this conceptual factor. Sir, we feel that it is just and reasonable. It would be great help to the assessees in such cases. Transfer determined and tax liability crystallized based on either completion of the work or sale of resultant's constructed portion. Sir, these are the few most considerable issues aggressively hesitated upon by the taxpayers. Hence, we have chosen these topics for more in-depth analysis, and I hope our experienced speakers having good expertise on the subject would guide us on dealings with such issues. I sincerely hope that the members attending the seminar will greatly enrich the knowledge on the various topics that will be taken in various technical sessions. I sincerely thank you, sir, and all the dignitaries from your department who have spared their precious time in attending the inaugural session and making it success. I also take this opportunity to thank all the speakers who have readily accepted our invitation to share the knowledge and experience with all of us. Once again, I thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I request our Central Council member, M. Devaraj Reddy garu, to say a few words.
Chairman of the branch, Tirupati, Honorable Chief Guest, who worked a lot of time in our state, Sri.K.V. Chowdary, IRS, Member Investigation, CBDT. My close friend and philosopher, Council Member J. Venkateshwar, Secretary of the branch, Regional Council Member Sri.K.V, Chairman, Vice Chairman, Mantesh Reddy, Secretary, Mastan, Council, branch members, Raghunandan, Ritesh, Prakash Chopra, senior members, Sri.K.V, Koteshwar Raghavan, dear professional friends, very good morning to all. Friends, one thing, after passing CA examination, we came to know we have to adapt to the change. Otherwise, we can't survive. In this competitive world, where our market is global, whereas the expectation of the regulators, society at large, is a lot than what we are receiving. But still, as a social responsibility, as we are partners in the nation of building, whether we see properly or not, whether we pay properly or not, we are adapting ourselves to the changes and doing our best. In the process, the institute has taken a CB committee which continuously updates the members by having various seminars and programs. In the process, this type of program, this national seminar and direct access is conducted here. I think my brother J.V. also explained, Mr. Manoj Vednas, who is the chairman of the direct access committee, has to be here because of due to pressing issues, he is failed to attend here. That is the risk which we are missing. Friends, and you know the subjects which are covered in this program are the issues with tedious provisions. It is really a tedious process and we are having a lot of problems. We are not having much requests. Annual CB, there is a lot of issues. I think our chief guest may highlight on these issues. That it addresses maybe any process, any system that are evolving, there may be a bottleneck problems, that teaching problems we are facing. It may be addressed the simplicity in the favor of assessing many of the issues where technically some problems are there. Some of the places the TDS is directed and the director has not uploaded. There is a lot of grievances. Sometimes particular nationalized banks, government institutions are not at all doing much seriously. Here, a sympathetic review from the chief guest may help us a lot across the country, not only this forum, this Hyderabad, across the country, to make it the benefit. But the second technical session is business directions, latest judicial trends. So the law plan, whatever it is Supreme Court judgment, it is going to be the prevailing in these issues. This person, Manish Datra from Indore, is going to address. Definitely it will be a feast for the people in the form of the knowledge. And third session is the applicants and development agreements. Mr. Sunil Arora Nudrihi is going to address. And technical session 4, domestic transfer pricing, which chairman also raised. Pankaj Jain from Hyderabad is going to address. Friends, these are the issues which we are going to refresh or update ourselves, what is the latest trends, how to help to the clients in this process we can study. Now coming to the institute initiatives. Now our President Subodh Agarwal and our Southern Region Vice President Raghu is taking very meticulously whatever the issues institute side has to be done, is taking very seriously. Recently we abandoned convocation, many on the request of many parents and students. Now again it is reintroduced almost all the country. The convocation certificate is issued to all the new entrants who are coming to the profession. Hence, again coming to peer review, coming to regulators internationally when we are entering in memorandum of understanding with other CA institutes, we require certain standards we have to follow. In that peer review role also is very much and now fortunately I was appointed the chairman of the peer review board. We have more technical peer reviewers. So country-wide we are conducting more peer review programs, particularly in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai and Madras. We are proposing in June and July technical reviews in the one-day technical shop. Those who are interested, that means the conditions, those who are completed 10 years of service is required to take the technical reviews. The one-day technical workshop is there. Once you join this technical workshop and complete your training or issuing certificate, then you are going to take up the peer reviews. Professionally, the income-wise also the fees is revised. Now the fees is gone to up to 1 lakh. Similar from some firms which are having highest turnover. So I request the members who are having a little bit time or ample timers, you can spare some time to the profession so they can join the peer review technicals also. Separately, a communication in email form we are communicating to all of you. Friends, infrastructure-wise, almost all over the country we are constructing our own buildings because the society says, physically our existence, then only we can do something dharma. So that's why this institute we have its brand image. We are planning to have all the buildings across the country. In that case, we are having southern region 36 branches, we are having only 2 or 3 branches are not having meeting. Those 2 meetings also, particularly Tirupati or Kannur, which has formed, we are going to acquire land. And many other places, they are having new buildings also. In the one that in Hyderabad also we are pursuing seriously. We have a one more new place to construct a new land building, which is here are going to serve all actions and observations, what the chief guest feels about the profession, and how we have to update, how we can go to help the society at large in a better fashion, and declaim or keep ourselves highest in the society as a good, highest noble profession. And I wish all the best for the program, and definitely all participants will have a good day by having good knowledge by the end of this day. I wish all the best to the Hyderabad Bank Chairman and his committee members for taking things to coordinate this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Before this August gathering, I want to share one happy moment that one of our colleague chartered accountant who has become 16th rank holder of the All India Civil Examinations that were held in 2012. So we take this opportunity and we felicitate him in this before this August gathering. I request chief guest and our other dignitaries on the dais for join the felicitate our member. From Swami Vivekananda Centennial School, Malakpet, done his intermediate from Little Shore Junior College, Opal, and done his graduation course from Indian Institute of Management and Commerce, Hyderabad. He joined his articles with Tukaram and Company Chartered Accountants, Hyderabad, and completed his CA final examination in November 2007 and bagged 46th rank. And now, after qualifying the CA examination, he joined with Ernest & Young as a consultant, and then he moved to DVP Roy and Company where he was a partner, which is ultimately merged with GS Madhavrao and Company where he continues to be a partner. I am very happy to share this with you, and in this brief biodata, I introduce the rank holder to this August gathering and say a few words to you, to all of you before felicitating him.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. Any word of encouragement or appreciation from our own fraternity makes a lot of difference. Thank you so much for that. And these kind of small gestures will go a long way in enhancing our morale and also our connection. And I have this fantastic opportunity to share my thoughts with you. So my humble request would be, CAs I believe have a lot of edge when it comes to civil services as our country is emerging economy and also slowly becoming an aspirational society. So I urge all of you to encourage any student with sincere efforts and who is well intended to go for the civil services. And truly this is a fantastic moment for me and also for my family and my friends. Apart from my family, I have more of coming from CA, so I have more of CA friends. So they are the ones who kind of pushed me into this and were there all along and shared my struggle and pain for the last 2.5 years. We have Surendra and also Prashant here who have stood with me and who bought me more civil services books. And thank you CA Institute, because the brand CA has helped me a lot even in my personality test and during also my preparation, because in terms of perseverance and also methodical approach which we bring in as a professional. And last 10 days also, I see the appreciation as manifold because of already being a professional, so a chartered accountant. So thank you so much, and I try my best
council members, chairman.
सर इकडे वेट
Secretary of the branch, Sri Ramurthy, the civil service topper from AP state, Mr. Shashanka, who is just there with us for today. The special invited chief commissioners and director general of CBDT and the commissioners for the inaugural and maybe for the later sessions also, sir, you are most welcome to sit through. Senior members, the regional council members, and the office bearers of the Hyderabad branch, and my fellow members. Pleasant good morning to each one of you. I extend a warm welcome to you for this one-day seminar on direct taxes topics organized by the Direct Tax Committee of ICA and hosted by the Hyderabad branch. In fact, the chairman of the Direct Taxes Committee, a very senior council member, Mr. Manoj Patil, was to be here, but because of some other pressing engagements at Indore, the visiting of the CBDT chief at Indore, he could not make it, so he offered his best wishes to all the delegates attending this program. As already conveyed by my colleagues, the topics were chosen keeping the latest developments in the direct taxes, and I'm sure you will go back with the piece of knowledge of dealing to the subjects from the best of the speakers. Friends, from the institute side, one or two just information for your updation. The bank audit panel for the next year, that is 13-14, will be coming in the next month, January. And 2 days back, I met the AP Commissioner of Corporation, who is also looking for creating a panel for allotment of cooperative society audit in the state. What we suggested is that in the bank audit panel itself, we will seek the additional information from the members so that we can send the panel to them. We are also in touch with the other banks and the Indian Banks Association for enhancing the fees of concurrent audits, because the RBI and the IBA have promised that more and more concurrent audits will be given for the branches which are going out of the statutory audit. And in the process, I have also visited the State Bank of India, which has its inspection headquarters in Hyderabad, and we are working on that. And some of the banks have already increased the fees, like Union Bank of India, Bank of Baroda. They have already increased the fee from the earlier 10,000, 15,000 to 25,000 to up to 40,000. And I'm sure in the next 1 year, we will definitely work with all the banks, and we are trying to use the same database what we are collecting for the statutory audits, so that it will be useful for the bankers also to consider for these things. And the other things, IFRS, we have given a threshold map to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Of course, it is ultimately the government which has to take a call. And the threshold map is from 2015. We have suggested that the first category companies can be covered. We have to wait and see how the government would process our request and then make it mandatory. And on the direct taxes code, we can hear from the chief guest, because the finance minister announced that he will relook into the direct taxes code, what was introduced 2 years back, and bring it back. And the companies bill has been passed, you are all aware, by the Lok Sabha, and waiting for the clearance from the Rajya Sabha. And the Rajya Sabha has been adjourned Saturday. We can look forward for its passing in the, I think, monsoon session. And these are the things, and the institute is in actual touch with the government on various matters. And coming to my duty of introducing Sri.K.V to the august audience. In fact, for all the senior members, he needs no introduction because he has worked at 2 states in Hyderabad. And but still, for the benefit of those members who have joined, who have become members late. Sri.K.V. Chowdary is a 1978 batch IRS officer. Prior to joining the Income Tax Department, he worked for about 4 years in Andhra Bank as a professional officer from 1975 to 78. He is born and brought up in Machilipatnam, near Machilipatnam, and he has school education all in and college in Hindu College, Machilipatnam in 69-70. He is a BSc Mathematics from Laila College, Chennai, 70-73, and MSc Mathematics in IIT Chennai from during 73 to 75. He started his career in the Income Tax Department in 1978 as under training at NIT Nagpur, and thereafter he worked as an assistant commissioner in Hyderabad during 79-85, and at various levels in the Income Tax Department, almost holding all the positions, investigation, exemptions, and the administration, appeals at various levels. And apart from serving the Income Tax Department, he also worked in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, which is our controlling ministry, as a deputy secretary during 87-89 in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. And in 2012, he has been promoted as a member of Central Board of Direct Taxes after serving at various levels. And now he is a member of CBDT Investigation and Special Secretary Department of Revenue. He has attended various training programs during his 35 years of service in the department, both in-house and also at various abroad places. And he was attended as one of the best probationers in 1979 and awarded a silver medal while coming out from the training program Nagpur. And many of these cases found place in the letter share, a book brought out by the department. Many of you may be aware. These are live cases. I think they will remove the names and put the things. Many of these outstanding cases are figuring there. And he is a regular faculty at NIT Nagpur and also at various other places. And one of the major record this thing is about 45 crores of cash was seized during his leadership in Delhi as a Director General of Investigation, which is a record cash figure in the country so far. And he has presented a paper on investigation of high net worth individuals and black money in the International Tax Dialogue Conference at Delhi in 2011 December. And the main hobbies of him are reading the books on management, religion, games, sports, agriculture, and dairy farming. With all these things, he is a very humble and noble person, and always welcomes the people to come to him, discuss the issues. A very straightforward and upright man. And above all, he is the AP-born officer who has reached this position nearly after 15-20 years of service, because last chairman was N.R. Swami, somewhere in the 90s, and I'm sure he will be reaching the chairmanship very soon. And we wish him all the very best, and we look forward to many more proactive and friendly measures with the SSCs. Just 2-3 small issues, sir. One is delay in refunds, which is causing some concern when all-round recession is experienced by the SSCs. Can we see that the refunds are granted at the earliest? As you demand tax within 30 days from the date of assessment, the SSCs are also expecting that they deserve their money at the earliest. The second thing is the demands also, sir. What happened after the computerization, the earlier demands have all been uploaded onto the system without giving effect to certain adjustments by way of modifications passed under section 154. As a result, some of the demands are not really existing in the records of the department, and when we approach there, it's taking some time to delete those demands. And the third issue, sir, last year the institute has collected the data from your CPC on how many chartered accountants are signing over and above the self-regulated methods of number of audits and other details. We found that some of the numbers used in the tax audit reports are not genuine, and some of them were misused by some of the SSCs. So we have some limitations in the processing those cases. Though we have addressed letters to all the names which are appearing in that data. So when we contacted officially in your department, they said definitely they will look into the issue. And what we suggest is that you can insist on digital signatures of chartered accountants wherever they are certifying, or insist for the uploading of the scanned copies of the documents. This would prevent any misuse by any of the other clients, etc. And the job provisions, of course, I'm sure you would want to be looking into the provisions which are considered to be somewhat harsh, and I'm sure under your stewardship any more proactive measures will come. Thank you, friends, and we look forward to listen to the chief guest of the day. Thank you very much. Chairman, Hyderabad Bank, C.K.V. Central Council Member, C.A. Devaraja Central Council Member, other dignitaries on the dais, Sri Sitaram Senior Most Chartered Accountant, Hyderabad, C.A. Secretary, my senior colleagues from the Income Tax Department, and my dear chartered accountants, and probably there are some students also here. I am thankful to all of you for giving me this opportunity to interact with you today on the occasion of the National Seminar on Direct Taxes. I am sorry I had taken a lot of time to confirm my attendance here because of the unstable nature of my job. Even after confirming to him, Mr. Venkatesh, only day before yesterday, I had some very anxious moments yesterday whether I could make it. Anyway, I thank this opportunity I take this opportunity to thank the Hyderabad branch for giving me this opportunity. I won't take much time because they are very good speakers and very good topics that have been selected. And given a choice, I would have loved to attend the whole session, but given the commitments, I request the committee here, if they have a CD or some summary made out that could be passed on for my benefit. I was quite pleasantly surprised when I came to know that the Hyderabad branch is conducting this program on as a seminar on direct taxes, and I was further quite impressed to note that every practicing chartered accountant is required to undergo similar such courses of at least 30 credits in a year. And that was something news to me, though I have been meeting chartered accountants, but I didn't know about this mandatory requirement. So I was telling Mr. Venkatesh that without paying any royalty, we can take a cue from this. Because in Income Tax Department, we have a very elaborate system of training, but most of it is some kind of I won't say voluntary, but it is not such organized. Though we do have training programs at middle level, senior level, and senior most level after 15 years, 20 years or something. But we don't have an annual plan of having this kind of a training. So I think we will take a leap out of the CS Institute and try to implement it here. The second thing, as regards the training program, I just wanted to consider, make the Institute consider this. While I have utmost respect and regard for the speakers who are going to deliver this lecture on these issues, I would, if the rules of the department, if the rules of the Institute permit, that you could on these topics invite a departmental personnel also, so that the perspective of the department also could be known. I know that there is no one perspective of the department, and what is said in a seminar by even a member or the chairman of the CBDT doesn't
necessarily become the department review, but it nevertheless guides you to understand as to how the departmental brain works in such situations, because this is ultimately a learning experience. Tomorrow, if you, as a deciding a particular case, we both may have a different view, but as a learning experience, we can always share the thought. These two were my limited issues as far as the seminar is concerned. As I just mentioned, the continuous improvement of knowledge is essential in any branch of life, and more so in a professional field like chartered accountants. I am sure that those of you who have put in even 10 years of service, you would find from the day you joined to today, there is so much of change, except probably the basic entries relating to the accounting and some principles relating to audit. The rest of the things, they must have undergone a tremendous change. The way in which the world is now functioning, the tax laws have changed, the reporting standards have changed or increased multifold, and compliance requirements have increased. They have tremendously changed. So, as a professional, you have a very, very high and I would say a pious responsibility towards your client. I would just like to make a small distinction here between a client and a principal. When you act as a client, one of my friends here, when he was talking about the development agreements and how harsh it is, I was slightly taken aback, with all respect to the learned speaker. Because as a professional, I would never like to place myself in the shoes of the principal. Then your professional advice gets colored by what suits you. If you go to a doctor, what do you expect from him? I know professional, chartered accountant is as important as a doctor, but I'm just giving it another example. When you go to a doctor and you say you have a pain in the chest or a stomach, you would let the doctor analyze the issue and then come out with a possible solutions. 1, 2, 3. He may suggest if it is a heart issue, he may suggest whatever it is called, angiogram or EEG, this and that, and a plan of action he has. And then he would suggest, most of the cases that what according to him is the best remedy to go. But the doctor doesn't put himself in your place and say what is your affording capacity or what is your ability to go through this process, or how much does the doctor get by way of a fee, which one of these options suits him better. So as a professional, be it as an income tax officer myself or as a chartered accountant or a tax advisor, it is our responsibility to analyze the situation. Tell these are option number 1, option number 2, option number 3. Option number 1, these are the consequences. Option number 2, these are the consequences. Option number 3, these are the consequences. Now it is for the assessee to take a call. I am taking a pre-decision situation. It is for the assessee to take a call as to, in spite of these consequences, I would choose the option number C, which is the riskiest possible, or I would take option number 1, absolutely no risk, but it costs a little more tax, or whatever is the consequences. But as a professional, if you start deciding what option the assessee is to take, then you are committing yourself to something more than what your profession is requiring. That is when the question of, some kind of a adjustment or manipulation or whatever it is, 101 things will start happening. So what I would like to impress upon you is the knowledge that is required for you to conduct this profession in a professional way. Being in profession is different from conducting it in a professional way. You are a professional because you have acquired a degree or a certification by this august institution. But it is by your conduct that you become a professional. So your conduct as a professional has to be absolutely professional. If my brother-in-law comes to me also and asks me advice, I have to tell him that look here, these 5 are the options. Ultimately, it is for the assessee to choose, and you are certainly willing to defend him on that count. Now, coming to the post-action situation, that is when defending a case, finding the parallels, finding the supporting material arise. Even in such situation, I find cases of people coming up to Supreme Court on issues which have a tax effect of much less than the fee they would have paid to the councils. So, as a professional, it is our responsibility to highlight the issues, pros and cons, the consequences, and what mitigates them. For example, one of the issues listed in today's topic is about TDS. A lot of debate is going on about, for example, section 195, the most celebrated case of Vodafone, or nearer home, you have the Shanavat or something like that, and so many other cases. The point I am saying is I am not getting into the retrospective amendment. I am not getting into the issue of section 195 being applicable. We can endlessly argue on this, and much sharper brains than me have done this in the Supreme Court. But the point I am saying is, if I as a tax professional am advising a domestic deductor, that is the payer of the money, I would like to advise, not because I want them to pay tax in India, or not because the income tax department is going to back me for getting a tax paid. But I would like to certainly caution him where there is a difference of opinion as to whether tax is deductible or not deductible. All said and done, the deductor is only a deductor. He doesn't bear the burden of the tax. For him, the liability is 100 rupees. Whether it is 90 rupees paid to the taxpayer, the recipient, and 10 rupees paid to the government and a receipt or a TDS certificate given to the deductee, or entire 100 rupees paid to the payee, his liability is the same. But in a situation where a deduction ought to have been done and deduction has not been made, his personal liability gets impaired, or a liability under 201, 201(1)(a), then there is a possibility of a penalty and a prosecution, and a whole lot of, and then 40(a)(1) now, and a whole lot of other litigations follow. All for what? For an amount to which I am not responsible. So, it has to be borne in mind, like the Supreme Court said in Transmission Corporation's case, what is your stake in the matter, and as to why you did take a non-deduction certificate under 195 too, and why did you hasten to remit the money without deducting? So, the point I am saying is I am not getting into the nitty-gritty of the decision of the Supreme Court in the Transmission Corporation, followed by the recent decision in another case, which has become somewhat controversial in the 195 matter. But it suffices to say that we need to know that there is a provision called 195(2) where you can apply to the tax officer and seek his direction. And in spite of your advice, the assessee says, no, I don't have to do it, I have some other obligation to the payee and I have to remit it, then of course you have been professional in your approach, and it is for the assessee to face the litigation if any it comes. So it is in this context that the continuous learning process is very important. As a professional, it is our duty to give the various options. This is what we do when a representation comes. For example, one of the best memoranda, pre-budget memoranda I had seen during this year is from the Institute of Chartered Accountants. On various issues, what the institute's views are, they have been very clearly put, and these have been examined by us. Those of which related to my section, I have in my branch examined, rest the remaining branches of the board examined. We do put out as to what has been said, what are the pros, cons, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it is ultimately the decision of the, in the circumstances of the government, the political bosses or the CBDT chairman, whoever is empowered with the decision to take a decision, to decide the issue. But if I project only one view and say this has to be done, that is not being professional. The next issue I was just trying to touch, as I said, I am not going to touch these 4 very important issues, is the capital gains on development agreement. This is one issue on which considerable debate is there, and there is probably some real conclusion and some conclusion made out regarding the point at which the capital gain arises. The Karnataka High Court has probably decided this issue in the case of D.K. Dayalu, and that is also followed by the earlier decision of the Mumbai High Court in the case of Chowdary. But by and large, the department's view is that the time you enter into a development agreement and you effectively hand over the possession of the property, your rights in the property get substantially changed. So that is when that is the point of time when the transfer can be deemed to have taken place. And once there is a transfer, the capital gain is a consequence of it. Now, like somebody said, suppose the development agreement doesn't go through or the project falls into some problems, then what is to be done? Now, these are case-to-case issues which we have to see. But the point to be decided is the assessee still continues to be the absolute owner of the capital asset, in this case the land, or his asset got changed in any manner. If his 100% ownership in the property got exchanged to receive a consideration by way of either money or a constructed asset, then his right in the property got changed very substantially. So the department believes it is that stage at which the capital gain is to be taxed. There could be issues of how to value the constructed area which is to be delivered after 2 years, how benefit of section 54 or 54 F, as the case may be, has to be given. These are issues which we have to examine on the facts and circumstances of each case. But as I said, as a professional, we have to highlight that these are the pros and cons, these are the consequences of our doing or not doing. So the agreement stage itself, the assessee has to be cautioned so that there is clarity on the issue. Coming to the issue of domestic transfer pricing. The domestic transfer pricing, though not termed as domestic transfer pricing, did exist in the form of section 40A2 earlier. It has been sought to be formalized by bringing in the applicable mechanism or sections by bringing it under section 92 and making the rules applicable for the determination of arm's length price under section 92 and the subsequent sections to these provisions also. Well, I am not very sure about how the section is going to work because the benchmark we have put is, in my view, quite low, 5 crores, and it is not one transaction, it is cumulative transactions, and it is a cumulative 5 crore transaction, and which transaction is going to be referred to the TPO for determining the arm's length price. The law as it stands, I think all the transactions have to be referred to the determination of the ALP, in which case it's a huge exercise which I am not very sure how effectively the TPOs will be able to handle. I think the board will certainly come out with some guidelines on the issue of the type of cases in which the references have to be made and the nature of transactions that need to be looked into in this context. I would like to touch a couple of other issues not exactly connected with the training. These are relating to, one is the important issue relating to audit. As you know, the department used to conduct the scrutiny assessments. When we joined the department, all 100% of the cases were scrutiny cases. Every case we used to issue a notice and representative used to come and some assessment used to happen, making some disturbances and so on and so forth. And thereafter we brought in the summary assessment scheme. And after the summary assessment scheme, we are supposed to audit 2% of the cases. But in effect, we are auditing less than 0.5% of the cases because of the limitations of resources. So we brought in the provision of section 44AB. Section 44AB, under which, subject to certain satisfying certain limited certain conditions of turnover, etc. Virtually the tax assessment, what we hitherto used to do as a scrutiny assessment, is now given to you to see the 44AB audit report, which has to be further improved, but nevertheless the existing ones. Virtually every section under which a disallowance or an addition is called for and any compliance mechanism is there has been included in your tax audit report. That means the power hitherto exercised by the assessing officer in a scrutiny assessment has virtually been delegated to the tax auditor. And now, since we have delegated that power to you, in 99.5% of the cases, we are not even doing that function. That means you are absolutely doing that function in 100% of the cases. 99.5% of the cases you are doing it absolutely, and 0.5% of the cases we have become concurrent practice. So, the responsibility of the chartered accountant in the tax audit report is very high. It is for two reasons. One, a selfish reason that the department doesn't have that much of resources that the responsibility has been given to you. But I would put it the other way around, that the department believes in the professional competence of the chartered accountants, that we feel that you have the necessary time, resources and expertise to do a good job of it. But I don't want to refer to any one individual and I don't want to take any ill feelings home. But our experience has been that in majority of the cases, from top to bottom there is a single stripe. There is just a single line and at the end of the thing there is a signature. there is just an name. They don't even mention the nature of books maintained, the types of books maintained, or the various issues looked into. Now, if this kind of a tax audit is going to come, now it is not going to add to the reputation of the particular chartered accountant and over a period of time to the institute as well. It is a very important function. I know you have certain delicacies because the client may not be so very happy to qualify everything, but you cannot be just ignoring the whole thing. You cannot be ignoring the whole thing, taking a huge risk on yourself professionally. It is a different thing to point it out, qualify it, but still represent the case to reduce the rigors, and it is an altogether different thing not to highlight it or not to bring it to record. Pointed out by them in the earlier meeting, we have already started looking into these cases and we are taking them out from the system. We will take appropriate action. What I would say in this context is, if you don't enforce the professional standards which you have set to yourself, then you would be inviting somebody else to come and start enforcing those standards. It would be very embarrassing. If I don't set my house in order, then somebody else comes and sets my house in order and it doesn't speak well. The next thing is 142A special audits which we have seen. I have seen some of the very good special audit reports. There is tremendous potential. The number of such cases where we have been referring cases for special audit is increasing year after year, and I think we have created panels in most of the chief commissioner's offices according to which it is done. Now the fee also has been streamlined. The third issue on which so far we haven't done any work, we are working on is the need for having a recognized forensic audit units. Now, as of today, the department's capabilities in forensic audit and forensic investigation are limited. We are still learning, but we are concentrating more on the forensic investigation part of it. But forensic audit, there are very few qualified people and there is tremendous potential. As you know, in the I think the Satyam case, they have made a reference to the forensic audit and probably one of the firms has been appointed, and of course the fee is very huge. Apart from Satyam, which is a separate category of cases, we have been looking at quite a few cases where we wanted to appoint forensic auditors. Last time when Mr. Venkatesh and some of his colleagues came, I was mentioning to them that we would like to have a list of firms or individuals who have specialized in forensic audit, and we haven't really got them. There is tremendous potential. Those of you who are serious in the profession, I think you should add that additional qualification or expertise to you, because there is endless potential with all these records becoming computerized. Coming to the suggestions made by the institute regarding the delay in refunds, we have taken a note of the issue. I think in the month of March there was some delay in the issue of refunds. Again, the refunds have started being issued because our reports show, I think if you see our voltage figures, we are in the month of April minus 11,000 crores. So huge amount of almost around 20,000 crores of refund has been issued in the month of April, and the other refunds are flowing. But our main difficulty is regarding the refunds which we are not able to issue or demands which we are generating on account of the mismatch of the TDS. Mismatch to some extent we have resolved, but the mismatch arising on account of non-uploading of the data by the deductors is what is causing problem. Now, this is an issue on which the department is quite sympathetic to those who have to receive the refund, but at the same time, it cannot take the huge risk of refunding an amount which has not been credited to government account. So we have been holding seminars, even the government offices, we have been conducting some kind of inspections. We have also even levied penalties on some of the governmental agencies who have not uploaded the data. The remedy is to improve our TDS compliance mechanism so that the refunds come. We have also tweaked the business rules for giving credit for taxes up to a certain amount. It won't be proper to reveal the amount. Up to a certain amount, even if the upload has not happened. But we cannot open the floodgates and say that any refund claim should automatically be allowed, because that will lead to a lot of refund frauds. So the remedy is in the better TDS compliance management, which the department is trying its best, and the department also appreciates the inputs of the Institute of Chartered Accountants and individuals who have been doing that. But in specific cases of non-compliances, now it is no longer treated as a complaint against any officer. As you are aware, Aikar Seva Kendras are quite effectively functional in Andhra Pradesh, both in Hyderabad. I think Hyderabad we have 2 centers, and Vijayawada also, Visakhapatnam and other places. Otherwise, you can also send letters to the grievance cell of the CBDT in individual cases if there are some differences, and we would, I assure you that we will deal with them within less than 30 days. The other thing is the post demands. As I have submitted that we are switching over from a manual system to a more automated system. So there are a huge number of legacy demands which have been carried forward from our old books, which are not all that perfect. So this is a transitional problem we have resolved to a great extent, and of course the Delhi High Court in a public interest litigation and the Punjab High Court also in another public interest litigation have taken serious note of it, and we have tried to resolve it to a great extent. And so the automatic adjustment of the refunds due against that has been stopped without giving you a notice. We are not doing it. But this is again a facing problem. To my mind, about 85% of the issue has been resolved, and I am hopeful that in this year we will be in a position to completely resolve the entire issue. As regards ETC, the Honorable FN is on record on in the speech of the finance bill that the DTC would be introduced during the year. The work is underway. Honorable FN himself personally spends a lot of time on the provisions section by section. A substantial portion of the work has been done, and hopefully it would be introduced in the next session, subject to clearance by the Union Cabinet and other requirements. But the point is, all the submissions made by the stakeholders, Institute of Chartered Accountants, assessees, and various trade bodies have been taken note of. The amount of work that has gone in is really phenomenal. So most of these rough edges and gaps which existed in the earlier Act because of the repeated amendments, they have been taken note of. All the issues which I thought, and I take this opportunity once again to thank the Hyderabad chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants for giving me this opportunity. I take also this opportunity to congratulate all those who are participating in this seminar on their learning, learning experience, And in conclusion, I would wish all of you a highly successful and ethical practice and more contributions and better contributions to the nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your elaborate speech. As a token of our remembrance, we request our chairman, along with the Central Council members, to give a moment out to the chief guest. Before proposing the vote of thanks for this inaugural session, I have one more responsibility to recognize the presence of I request our Vice Chairman, Majesty Garu, and our Central Council member, J. Venkateshwar Garu, to honor Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, 1, Andhra Pradesh, I request our regional council member, responsibility and keeping in view various provisions. So one thing I want to share with you, if we say truth, we need not remember anything. I hope all of us we are following this in our day-to-day practice and assure you that we discharge our functions to the utmost professional ethics. I express my sincere thanks to all the officials of Income Tax Department who have this is holiday, and I request, I recognize them with respect, and with very short notice, all of them they have come and blessed this occasion. I extend my special thanks to our CA member, Shashank Tunduru, 16th rank holder of civil service examination, for gracing the occasion, and I thank each one of you for making the inauguration success. To take the personal videos. Thank you very much.
ఆ చైర్ తీసాను
Basis.